Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. We got a bit of a special video here. I would like to welcome both Dallas and Connor to the show, as we're here to talk about CFL Fights Cancer, and you guys are actually going to be doing a charity event, I believe. You guys are going to be walking from BMO Field to Tim Hortons Field, which it's funny, I looked into that earlier today because I knew it was long, but I wasn't sure quite how long. It was like 19 and a half hours of walking. So what made you guys decide to do that? I'm curious.
It was just something that it came up in the off season. You're thinking about football, of course. You miss it. You want to be back. And I just had this thought. I was talking with a buddy online, and it just randomly came up. You could walk, we were thinking, how far is it to go from the farthest stadium to farthest stadium? Very far, right? You can't walk from Montreal to BC, all right?
Yeah.
Toronto to Hamilton, though, you could walk that. That is very possible. And of course, with the CFL Fans Fight Cancer, every year they do a fundraiser with a bunch of small initiatives that come together into a big collective, raising money for a good cause. So I just put 1 and 1 together equals 2. There we go.
There you go. Absolutely. And you're going to be doing this as well, Dallas, right? So I think both of you guys are doing this. You guys are both in the Toronto region. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, I was pretty sure. I was just confirming. However, one thing I am a little bit curious about is a little bit more just kind of, actually, I guess let's go back a little bit. How did you guys get into football or the CFL, I guess? And we'll start this over with you, Dallas.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I grew up in Regina, Saskatchewan, so green runs through my veins. Grew up going to Rider games from about the age of 5. And, first just run around with other kids and then just slowly taking more interest in the league. Sat with my entire family growing up. My first real strong memory is the Labor Day Classic games when all those Bomber fans would come from out of town, and it just it amped up the whole atmosphere in the stadium and of that game. And so Labor Day was really the thing that really hooked me. And then just a season ticket holder with my family through high school before I actually went out to UVic, and then settled here in Toronto. Became a season ticket holder of the Argos when they moved to BMO Field. So I've still got my allegiance to the Riders, but I'm a big Argos fan now too. Connor knows that, Rick too.
Oh yeah.
I'm a double blue at every game except the one last week. But I'll say it was sure nice to have the Riders in town for the first time in 5 years. And, those Labor Day Classics, wherever they may be, the atmosphere last week with Saskatchewan coming back for the first time in 5. And all of those fans, it was second largest regular season crowd since the opening game at BMO. It was absolutely electric, and I hope we could build on this in Toronto because it was an incredible night.
Absolutely. I mean, I know.
Carter,
what was that, Rick?
Sorry. I was just gonna say, just picture this behind the Riders bench, 3 full sections of just Rider fans.
Wow.
So if you think that hearing Connor sit beside me trying to chant Argos, you got all the Riders sections on the other side of you trying to chant Riders.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right, because it's funny. We had last year, me and my family, this was our first time we had went to the Banjo Bowl for a few years, but we had never been to Labor Day, and so we drove to Saskatchewan last year. We're going to be driving out again this year. I think this Saturday we leave for the Sunday night game. That'll be a fun time. Obviously, you guys will be doing your Labor Day Classic over there in the GTA, and you'll be doing this wonderful event beforehand, right? That was when exactly would you guys be starting this walk, just so people can know?
So I believe what we're going to do is we're going to start on the Friday night, and then we'll walk from BMO Field to Mississauga. And then the next day, we're going to play it by ear, see how we feel. I want to do it in 3 days if we could.
Yep.
If we have to do a little bit on the Monday, okay. But I think I really want to push it that second day and try to we got to go through, so Toronto and then Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington, and then Hamilton. So it's a big walk, and I just want to play it by ear and see how we feel. I know this guy Dallas will walk it backwards uphill in flip-flops, so Dallas will be all right.
I was about to say he'll cartwheel from BMO Field out to
Tim
Martins Field.
I'm gonna keep my buddy hydrated and in good spirits. Connor, you got
Good
this,
God,
man.
bring-
This was
bring-
such a
bring
great
lots of water.
initiative
We got
that you
this.
put out there, and you know, you knew you could do it when you said you wanted to do it. And I'm just wanting to boost you up. We're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna get there, and we'll get there when we get there.
So
Yeah.
Dallas doesn't know, but me and Connor spoke about this the other day. Guess what, Dallas? I'm walking with you guys all day Friday and all day Sunday. Saturday I can't because I gotta work, but I'm doing the walk.
There you go.
That is awesome,
That's
Rick.
awesome.
I'm so glad. It sounds like we might have a few other people for different durations of the walk. I think I'm going to get my
I was
family
gonna say, I
out
love it how
on Saturday
fans are
too.
coming up saying they want to walk. People say, "Oh, this sounds like a great initiative. How can I join you? How could I help?" So I just love it's the CFL family, right? We're all big family. Whenever something like this happens, everybody comes together. But yeah, the Michael Caccione Foundation is a very special one. He was actually 9 years old when he started the foundation, I believe.
Wow.
And he sadly passed away at 16. And that's terrible. 16 you're barely getting started, you know? So if we could walk a long distance to bring awareness to that, it's an easy yes. It's an easy, let's do it. One foot in front of the other. Because, the childhood cancer, it doesn't just affect the kids. It also affects the families. And it's a really terrible thing. So if we could do anything to help make it easier on people, we got to do it, right?
Absolutely. So we had talked a little bit about Dallas's start into the CFL, into Canadian football, and so people can kind of get to know you, Connor, a little bit better. How did you get into the CFL, Canadian football, all that?
Well, it's a funny story. I know Dallas likes this story a lot. So CFL, it's not a secret. Here in Toronto, it's not huge with the kids nowadays, right? I've seen the odd game growing up, but I was watching a spring league, and I was just remembering how much I missed and loved football. And then I was just thinking about it, and what's funny enough, so I got a targeted ad on Instagram. So for all the people who say CFL doesn't market, you're wrong. So I joined it. I got season tickets off of Instagram advertisement, right?
Wow.
It's because I was thinking, I love football. There's a team very close to me that doesn't get a whole lot of support. Why don't I go there, give it a shot, see if I like it? I fell in love. The CFL has been a great experience. All the people you meet, the experiences you have, it's really amazing. Let's look at this call right now. We're talking from Toronto, Hamilton, and Winnipeg.
Yeah.
When I would never talk to Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, like I've flown out to Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, all for the CFL.
Yeah.
It's really been a great thing. It's a great experience, and I can't try to sell the Argos enough to people around this area. It's a real hidden gem.
Well, absolutely. It's funny. That's actually a little bit kind of similar-ish in the sense of how I had met Rick, in the sense of that me and Rick, we were both talking in the CFL Discord, in one of the CFL Discords, kind of the main one, the big one, and I at the time I'd run what was at that point CFL Central, not Canadian Football Central. I had run that on my own for a bit, as Jake had just kind of gotten too busy with a lot of stuff, so he had kind of stopped being on the show. So it was just me doing it. It's fun. It's kind of crazy because if you look back then, the previews and reviews we're uploading were like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and now they're running like 46 as we spend over 10 minutes per game. As it's one of those things where I very much, the way I got into Canadian football was I honestly didn't really know much football at all growing up. I had went to a few games at Canada Innsfield while that was open, saw a little bit of Milt Stegall, all that sort of wonderful stuff. But
You still got it too, you know.
what'd you say? Sorry.
He still got it. You saw him dancing
Oh, he
last
still
week?
got it. I saw that. The big sprint. I know a lot of guys that couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Hell, but it was funny because I'd went to a few games, but I just didn't grow up in really a kind of a family, like a football family, and so I'd grown up in a hockey family, and so I'd always been a hockey guy growing up, and then as a hockey player, as a defenseman, and let's just say as a guy, 6'2", about probably 230 pounds at the time. I was a big defenseman who liked to throw his weight around. That was me as a hockey player, and so I was in junior high going into high school. And my friend said, "Well, if you like throwing your weight around in hockey, shit, football would be perfect for you. You should give it a whirl." And I was like, I know we have 3 downs, the US has 4, and that's about it. I don't even fully understand what that even means, but so went and played it and kind of fell in love with it. And I was like, well, shit, if I'm going to get better, I got to do it kind of similar to the way I do it in hockey by watching it. I grew up before the Jets had returned to Winnipeg. I was a big Detroit Red Wings fan. Jets would eventually return to Winnipeg. Big Jets fan now. Still love my Red Wings. They're my number 2, but Jets are my number 1. Grown up as a big Nicholas Lidstrom fan. And so that was kind of what had been a really big inspiration for me with hockey. And so when I got into football, I started as a middle linebacker. Adam Bighill was a lot of inspiration there, and then eventually moved to center. And so I'd kind of fallen in love with the offensive line as a whole, and kind of it was one of those things where when I started doing these videos, actually the first whole season was on the Nolan Hockey Podcast. It wasn't even on the channel that we're on now. And it's funny because you can tell that I don't know almost nothing about football, because I was like, you know what? This is how I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn by watching it. It's one of those things. You asked me to name 5 veteran, like retired alumni from every team. Honest to God, couldn't do it. Couldn't. Because that's where my knowledge starts. But that's how you get it. And so it was one of those things where I am a newer fan to the CFL, and I want more of me. I want more newer fans. Even if they are Saskatchewan ones, and because it helps the league as whole. And honestly, yes. I absolutely love the community the CFL has. It'll be one of those things where I'll see the Riders play and I'll be flipping my middle finger at that TV, and then I'll be talking with the nicest people in the world on the Discord or in group chats that are fans of the Riders and all that. I think this is a very community-driven league. I love everything about that. Even with private owners, Edmonton's now dealing with all that, but they'll still be a very much a community team, even though they'll have a private owner. And that's one thing I love about the CFL. And I think that's one thing that really helps when you kind of start a wonderful charity event. It allows people to really kind of buy into that and come out. And honestly, I'd encourage anyone in the GTA to come out and do this, as this is wonderful. It's for a fantastic cause. Yeah, it's one of those things. If I was living there, I'd be with you guys, but I'm a little far.
And Connor, if I'm not mistaken, we met on Discord too, did we not?
That is correct, my friend. Yes, sir.
My first memory, and Connor's gonna hate this first memory. The first time I met Connor in person, this guy came to Tim Hortons and got a beer poured on him. And then ever since then, it's been history.
There you go.
Yeah, I got poured on me in Rick's section before I even realized that Rick was there. I didn't even know Rick at the time.
And then onward, he absolutely despised the Tiger Cats. If he didn't already.
Without a doubt.
There you go. That was the final straw.
If the Argos lose in a week, as long as the Ticats also lost, it's okay.
There you go. If
the Ticats win, now you had a bad week.
Oh, there you go. As
long as the Ticats lose, we're all happy campers over here.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when we had talked a little bit in the Discord, and I was in Toronto at the time, and we were like, you know what? Like, me and my parents were like, you know what? Let's go see a Ticats game. So we went to the game, And I'm just messaging in the Discord like, oh, I'm at the game. Look at this. And then I get a message from Rick being like, oh, I'm also at the game. We should meet up. I'm like, sounds great. And so we meet up. This man buys me a beer. Thank you, Rick. Really enjoyed that beer. I will say, parking on people's lawn, that's a little weird, but it was something to see. As I think in Winnipeg, if you go on certain people's lawns, you might get a knife in your chest. But I'm just...
Carter, was that in 21?
I'm exaggerating. I'm making a joke. Was that in 2021? I'd have to check. It's funny. I actually did a video on the No Hockey podcast of traveling.
Either 21 or 22.
It was one of the two. It's funny. I can look through my Instagram. It's probably.
And Dallas, I don't even know. I think Connor invited me over to one of your guys' pre-game rituals, and then I think that's how I met you.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, you guys had tickets together too, though. I think when we met, maybe we met prior to that. But it was such a great time taking that road trip to Ottawa and Montreal.
Oh God!
Can't forget
year.
that. Oh yeah, that was awesome.
And
that was something else.
Like just these are the things that make this league so special. Like, of course, I look at the two of us and the two of you across from each other, rivals in this upcoming Labor Day Classic, and poor Connor getting a beer poured on him. But Rick, as passionate as you are about the Ticats and hating Toronto, you're still a good guy that can go to every game. With Connor and become great friends. And like when we get past this, certainly the allegiance to our teams is so important. The rivalries is what makes being a fan fun. But to remember that at the end of the day, we're all in this together as fans of the CFL, and we need to build it up together, whether it's doing podcasts like you guys are. I mean, I have such admiration for the guys that do that, because it's a tremendous amount of work every week, and you put in tons of time. It's a labor of love. And people like Marcia in Vancouver hosting the CFL Fans Fight Cancer event this Grey Cup year in Vancouver. And then all of the people who are taking initiative to, not just contribute to a tremendous cause. And absolutely, Connor keeps saying this is the most important thing, giving to the charity. But like for me, the second most, or right up there at the same time, is building this community of CFL fans. It's just amazing being able to go to any stadium and just connect with somebody. And with Discord and Twitter and all the social media, we've got people who kind of know each other, but they don't know one of their three names, and might have seen them in a picture. But then everybody just introduces everybody else, connects everyone, and then you have these incredible experiences. Like I just had Alex and Steven from Piffle's podcast here last week with all the Rider fans here, and and then they go off to Ottawa and Montreal, and it's such a tight and amazing community. And like I think that is one of the great selling features that we have when we get people out to games. And the tailgates in Toronto and Hamilton might be the two best in this league. We get people out, pull them into the community, then pull them into the game, and we can grow this thing in whatever market.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I am a little bit curious about this, like, it's funny, this is off topic but also not. So Connor, you and Rick are going to be flying in for the October 11th game,
Thanksgiving weekend
versus Toronto.
Yes.
And then the three of us, is Dallas coming with us or no? Or is it just the three of us? I can't remember.
So
I've been thinking about it.
Dallas is thinking about it. It's me, Connor, and Connor's cousin so far.
Okay, well, just letting you know, if there is a fifth person, I have because I'm driving you guys. That's how this is going. So just a heads up. That means someone will be a little squished in that middle spot for the ride.
That's okay. I'm sure Connor will sit up front, and then me, Dallas, and Aiden can fit in back.
Oh yeah, and I might just catch you guys at the game because, of course, I have family in Regina, so I might be able to see someone and maybe even figure out an automobile too. But I'm not all in yet, but I'm thinking about it.
What makes that weekend even better is, being the trip planner that I am, Dallas knows what it's like to plan these trips, is the Sunday. We were actually able to fit in an NHL game that Sunday. So the 3 days is all sporting events.
About that. I remember you had asked me about that. I forgot to message Zach about that.
You guys live in the same house.
Well, yeah, but he's always working, so he's not like he gets home and like he'll watch a thing for a little bit and then go to bed. And at that point, he's up only at like 4 a.m. or whatever. And at that point, I'm freaking dead on my bed. And so, but I'll have to let him know about that. Also, if I don't text him, he'll forget about it, and there won't be any physical record, and I'll claim I didn't tell him. So, so I'll need to make sure to do that.
Also, Dallas, do you know if Ginger has any more of these patches?
I don't, although I would imagine, because I bet
I would
if
assume
Ginger
so.
ran
It's an
Yeah.
easy
out,
assumption.
he would do
yeah.
another run.
Yeah. Look at those beautiful things.
There you go. There we go. All that lovely stuff. Is there anything else? I am just wondering. Is there anything else people should know about CFL Fights Cancer? Everything you guys are doing.
So FYI, Carter.
Yep.
Getting the two mixed up. We will have to put a link down below so that people can
absolutely. No
find
question. Yeah.
the link to
awesome.
on Connor's Twitter.
Yep.
So that people can donate.
Yep. It'll be at the very bottom of the description, so it'll be right there. Very easy to find. So make sure you guys check that out.
Awesome.
That's where you'll get all the. I'm sure Connor will be putting all the updates in there. Exactly.
Oh, we'll be doing
for sure.
videos.
All that
We
sort
will
of
be
stuff.
doing videos.
There you go.
We got the video man right there. So
Oh, there you go. There you go. Look at that, Rick. You've been assigned your job.
Yeah.
But I just want to take a second to say, like, I'm very appreciative. You guys have been promoting this walk for a lot of videos now, and it's very much appreciated. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm always listening anyway. And whenever I hear the CFL Fans Fight Cancer segment there near the end, it always makes me feel good knowing that you guys are helping spread the word. And that's all we can ask. So thank you guys for everything you do in your show and for helping us.
Connor, it takes 10 seconds to do, and if it can help someone else, then that's awesome. And so at the end of the end goal with all this is to help people. So if 10 seconds of our time in any video can make any sort of difference, I have absolutely no problem giving that. So that's, I don't know. I maybe it's just me. You don't need to thank me for that. That's something where that's.
Well, it's much
that's-
appreciated. Just know it's appreciated. But right now, for the fundraiser, we are at, I believe last time I checked, it was $31,000.
Wow.
So I just checked now. We're at 31,131, and this is not even including Grey Cup weekend's big event.
Like the main event, right?
There you go.
Like
Yeah,
you still have the
recent
silent
years
auction
has-
and everything.
$31,000. That is
Has more than doubled the amount coming into Grey Cup week in recent years. I mean, this thing has just exploded over the past few seasons, going from 10 to 20 to 30 to $40,000 raised, and it's just incredible because of the initiatives of so many great fans. And like, while we're talking about donations coming in for the walk, it's worth shouting out other people who are doing things at this time too. So they're all going to the same place, and we're all on the same team. But you've got Ticats Sammy wearing an Argos jersey on Monday, taking donations for that. Blake Milton, BC Lions fan, who's on the East Coast trip right now, is going to wear a jersey at Touchdown Pacific. Of the fan base that gives the most to CFL Fans Fight Cancer over this week, or actually coming days, I guess. So if you want to see Blake in a jersey of your team, you might contribute in that way. And then people like Ginger Argo have been generously offering food, incredible food, and drink at tailgates all year long, selling stickers and buttons, and other people doing buttons and beer cozies. And it's endless, all the different initiatives. But so spread your donations around to everybody who's pitching something.
But Dallas,
greater cause.
Dallas, I will say I like your idea though. I watched your video today. The whole idea that you donate $1 for every kilometer that the group walks.
Yeah, that's a suggested, and of course, people have different means. I mean, we would take a few dollars from somebody and a whole lot from someone else, depending on means and desire and connection. But yeah, $65 seems like a nice amount that fits the theme, and Yeah, but
They'll
certainly
make a big
grateful
difference.
for whatever. And you know what? It doesn't have to be financial contribution. I mean, Rick, you're going to do a whole bunch of driving and hydrating and social media posting. But really, some people have offered to walk with, which would be amazing. It builds community, gives us all good memories and feelings about being together. If other people want to come and take pictures, take video, and post, because that takes time and energy, as all of you know, that would be super helpful too. And hey, like beverages and snacks and electrolytes and whatever along the way. New pair of shoes. We'll get you some shoes, Connor.
All right. Well, I think that honestly, really appreciate having you guys on for all the support and awareness about this. Make sure you guys, everyone watching, make sure you guys check out the link to Connor's Twitter account in the description below. I think if we can also put, do you guys just have the donations on like a GoFundMe or?
They go directly to the Cuccione Foundation.
Okay.
If anybody has any apprehension, but it does go through a CFL Fans Fight Cancer event on the website.
So I want to have a link
to answer your question. To answer your question, if you look at Connor's Twitter handle, there's a pinned comment on his Twitter that has the link.
I'll grab that just because I want to make sure to also have a separate link. So in case someone doesn't have Twitter, they can still access that link.
Okay, I will send that to you right now.
So yeah, I'll make sure to have both of that in there. So make sure you guys check that out. Absolutely everything is appreciated, whether that is a donation, whether that is coming out and doing the walk if you guys are in the area, or even just a simple repost on a story, something like that. Every little bit helps. And so really appreciate you guys coming on, and really appreciate to anyone at home who can help out in any way, shape, or form. All that is very much appreciated. So I think, is there anything else I'm missing here, Connor and Dallas?
Yes. Do not forget to check us on Spotify.
Yes, make sure to check this out on Spotify. There you go.
That's where I listen the most. Yes, listen on Spotify.
So if you can give 5 stars on Spotify, would really appreciate that. Make sure you guys leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. We got all sorts of stuff coming out. Whether it's
Carter
stuff
bag
like this, reviews, previews, all that sort of jazz. So again, thank you so much, Dallas, and for Connor.
Carter,
I'm missing.
Yes. Do you know when this video is coming out?
I'm putting this up tomorrow. Both this and the review will both be going up tomorrow because I don't want to wait on this one. I want this one to be up real early so that people can see this and have this get out there and have as much time to marinate before the walk actually happens. So this will be going up tomorrow.
Also, don't forget your amazing closing too.
Oh yeah.
Peace, love, and prosperity.
It's positivity, Rick. You always get it wrong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, love, and positivity. And we will see you guys next time.